Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Streamer Showcase! Welcome, everyone, damn it, to another episode of the Streamer Showcase. And this episode had to be with the king himself from across the pond. King's Court, how are you doing, my brother?
I am doing very, very well, thank you, my friend. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to have you on here. Thank you for accepting the invite.
Not at all, not at all. It's my pleasure.
Yeah,
a king
man.
must do what he can for his kingdom.
Why, thank you. Why, thank you, sir. I'm but a squire, is what I am. So if you're living under a rock, this is the most popular podcast in the world. Move over, Logan Paul. Okay?
Damn straight.
We're going to do is I'm going to ask the king himself 10 streaming and gaming questions, 15 rapid fire speed round questions, and to wrap it up, we're going to have 5 edgy questions. Are you ready, my good sir?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Here we go. Number 1, what moment in your life made you want to turn on the camera and start streaming?
Oh, good question. So I played a lot of Ark Survival Evolved on the PS4 because I've always been maining console up until I got a PC for streaming. And so I was on YouTube looking around for bits and pieces like advice or tips or tricks or meta for Ark. And then I came across someone called Nerd Parade. And they put up one of their streams and they were like, yeah, we stream this day, that day. And I was like, okay, what is this? They were talking about Twitch. So I popped over to Twitch. And then the egotist that I am was looking at some people who were streaming and I was like, I could do this and better.
Sure. Yeah.
So basically I started streaming. I was streaming off my PlayStation 4 and within a year I had a PC and I was up and running, camera on, mics up, all that sort of thing.
Nice. Okay. How long ago was this?
That I celebrated my 3rd year of streaming on August 3rd.
I saw that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was we did it on the Sunday after, but that was a big event. 4 costume changes, 20 giveaways,
wow,
and 10 hours of streaming.
10 hours? Nice, man.
Yeah.
I went 24 hours on my birthday, but I couldn't make it. So I ended up going to sleep right there. And yeah. I kept the camera on me the whole time. And from what I've heard, okay, from certain people, when I went back and I watched the VOD, I almost showed some butt crack. Yeah, just naturally. Yeah, very risque. Just naturally, I'm just sleeping and like my butt crack almost showed. And that would have been against the terms and policies of Twitch.
Of course. But you may have got 3,000 views at that point.
I know. So my butt could have ended up being more popular than I ever would have dreamed. All right.
I've done 24 hours once, and that was for a charity stream. I actually went just under 25 hours, and I got to say the 17, 18 hour mark, deadly. Yeah. Deadly.
Yeah. It's rough. Yeah. But then you kind of get a second wind about yourself, and like the end is close, and you just keep pushing. That's how it was with me.
Definitely.
All right, number 2. What is the most satisfying thing about streaming?
This is going to sound very cliche, but the community.
Sure.
The people you build around your streams. And I don't get it often at all, but every now and then people messaging me going, you're the reason I stream, or you know what? I had someone say that they were honestly thinking about doing something stupid. I'm not going to go too into it, but they were thinking of doing something stupid. Yeah. And then they came into stream and then they had a giggle. They actually opened up about it a little bit in stream and we spoke about it. Because I'm not afraid to go to those sort of less hyped vibes, even though I'm quite a hyped streamer. I'm not afraid to go there and talk to people about that on stream and open up my DMs to them. And hearing people's experiences, good, bad, and otherwise, about how their day has been changed or what I've done for them. And it is slightly egotistical, but also it's about that sharing and about that creating a community of people that you feel that you are connected to or that vibe with you or, just enjoy what I'm doing. That's the best thing.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, the chat makes it. We don't push start streaming and want to see no activity. You know, the
No,
chat
not at all.
absolutely fucking makes it. That's awesome. Yeah, same. I would say the same thing for me as well. I
Mhm.
haven't streamed in a while just because I got a lot of things going on here at home. And
Yep.
to be honest with you, I kind of more so enjoy this kind of lane right here
Yeah, yeah.
and doing more of a YouTube thing, but that's another fucking story. But
That's you've got to do what you got to do what you enjoy and what you feel comfortable with, because if you're not enjoying it, there's no point in doing it. Like, yeah, okay, streaming is cool. It's a nice, you know, either hobby or job, depending on how you look at it, and it could be an extra bit of revenue. But if you're doing it for the revenue and you're just doing it for the revenue, people will figure that out quick, and
for
you will
sure.
not make it. You will
Yes.
not make it.
That's very, very true. And I've seen it too. I feel
Mm.
like we all want to quote unquote chase our passion, right? Whatever our passion is. But I think instead of looking at it as a passion, that's everybody has a fucking passion. I wanted to grow up and be a fucking astronaut. You don't see me in space. I think what we more so have to focus on is, what is our gift?
Yeah.
We are all given a gift. Every last one of us. I am not the greatest video game player in the world. Okay? I'm just by any stretch. But people have told me I could fucking talk. So if this is my lane, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I'd rather be doing this than spending the time on Twitch. That's just me though. This is the gift.
No, completely fair. Completely fair.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Number 3. You recently had your 3-year Twitch anniversary. Are you satisfied with your progress? And do you think you could have done things differently to be more popular than you already are?
I will answer the second part first and the first part second. Yes, there's always something that could be done, may have been done, might have been done, that could have been better, more advantageous, or hitting that right game at that right time,
Right.
hitting that trend. I'm not one for trends. Like I'm on social media, so I'm on TikTok and stuff like that, and I see the trends, and sometimes I will pick one up and try and get a little bit further ahead. Like, but I don't like doing that for views. That's not what I'm about. I don't want to do the latest thing or the latest Call of Duty game or the latest Fortnite skin or whatever it might be, just to have people come watch me. So yes, I could have, but I didn't want to. And there are some things I probably could have done before that I should have done. But I am happy where I'm at now. And you know, I've had, like everyone on Twitch, had ups and downs. There were points where I was hitting an average of 40 views per hour per stream.
You said 40? I dropped down. You were hitting 40?
Yeah,
nice.
40.
Nice.
And then I dropped down to 15. And then I picked it back up to 20. And then I had to take 2 weeks off because I caught COVID. Okay. And then it dropped back down to the mid-teens again.
Yeah.
And also everyone on Twitch has been having, I've noticed everyone's average, especially over like the last 6 months to a year, has sort of declined.
Yes.
So I've been trying not to take that too much to heart and just deal with it. But I am happy where I'm at. I've got people that come and watch me every stream. I've got a group of streamer friends that I hang around and we talk about things and we discuss ideas and we're very open about our streams and stuff. So could I be in a better place? Yes. Am I happy with where I am at the moment? Yes.
Nice. Very good. I'm the type of person to where I let numbers and analytics just fuck with me. It's always been like that. Yeah. And I feel like with Twitch, I was creeping up to around averaging like 20. That's when I was at my top, and shit just started to tank. It really, really did. And I started to question myself, you know, why is this happening? What am I doing wrong? Yeah. I live in my head sometimes. It's just always the way that I am. But I really had to take a step back and look at the grand scheme of Twitch right now. You know, you know Baron Von Cheese. You know,
of course I know the Mr. Cheese himself.
Yeah, the cheese god himself, right? And Baron actually introduced us. So he's the reason why this is happening right now. You know, Baron's taking a hit. A couple of my other streamer buddies has taken a hit, and one of them said something that made a lot of sense to me. He was like, this summer and this year kinda has been the first year since COVID that people have been able to go out. and do
Yeah.
stuff. So nobody's sitting home watching your Twitch stream, or not as many people are, right?
And then in the UK, we've had heat waves, so people don't want to be stuck indoors. They want to be down by the parks or the beach or out in. We don't have AC over here. I know a lot of Americans take the piss out of us because of like we hit 30 degrees and about sort of 80, and we're all turning into puddles. And then but when we explain that our houses are built to keep heat in, and we don't have AC, that's not a normal thing for people in the UK.
So wait, hold on. So having air conditioner isn't a normal thing in the UK,
Nope.
is that right?
Nope.
Get out of here.
If you've got money, you've probably got it. If your family's well off, you've probably got it. But the only place we really have a AC is in shops and businesses. So people want to go out, people want to go to restaurants. They don't want to stay at home and eat, and they want to go where it's cool and chill. So that's also affected people's average views and stuff like that. And as you said, COVID, we were all indoors. We were all panicking.
Right.
And not wanting to be near family, let alone outside people.
Yeah.
And so before we were doubling our figures easy. We were doing, 20 people on a bad stream, 50 people on a good stream, 10 people when you literally just started. And it was like, what are these numbers about?
Yeah.
And then we get to this year and this summer, and people are outside, and then you
completely different. Everything's different now.
On stream, and like you've got 10 people and you're already an hour in, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll keep going.
Of course. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Didn't know that about the air conditioner thing. That's and
no one does.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are gonna watch this, people from the States, are gonna feel the same way. I'm like, really? Like, I got an air conditioner right there. I live, but we're spoiled by it. That's it. Like I've had air conditioners since I was a kid, so we're fucking spoiled. We're the worst here in the States, bro. Trust me, we are the worst.
Like, so we had 36 outside, right? And we live in what you guys call an apartment. We call it a flat. Yeah. And we're a middle floor flat. So heat gets trapped in from the flat below and above. We're just trapped in it.
Gotcha.
And I was in my Discord, and I'm like with people. I'm like, it's 36 outside, but it's got to be at least 38 indoors, and like And they were like, yeah, you guys just can't take the heat. I was like, no, we don't have AC. We can't regulate the temperature of our houses.
That is so interesting.
It doesn't happen. So when it's hot outside and you come in, and in your end of the sea, and you come in and it's all like, oh yeah, no, it's okay, I'm home now, it's chill. We come home, we go, oh fuck this shit.
Oh man, that's funny. But fans, you have fans, obviously, right?
Fans, like, yes, but it doesn't bring the temperature down. It just circulates hot air.
It just that's true. Okay, good to know. Interesting. Let me see. Where are we? Number 4. Are there any popular streamers, 1K viewers and up, that you enjoy watching?
Oh, to my, like, if I'm not thinking about it, and top of my head, no.
Okay.
No. I have watched some very, very big streamers. Not going to name names, but they're COD players. First of all, I don't like COD. It's not my game.
Same.
But second part of that is there is no interaction with chat, and that's a double-edged blade. I'm a realist. I'm not sitting there going, well, they should interact with every single chat message that comes up, because when someone's got 360,000 people watching them, that is an impossibility unless you only allow them to do one message 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And no one's going to want to do that.
Of course.
Although realistically, even if you did do that, you would probably get more interaction from that streamer, and people would be able to spam less. But either or. I like interaction. I like to be able to speak to the streamer. And then I've seen some streamers as well who have the TTS on donations, and I've seen them like completely blank donations of a certain size, even though it's TTS, and I'm like, nah, off. As soon as I see that, I'm off. I'm like, no, you can't have people, whether it's a pound, a penny, a dollar, a dime, doesn't matter. If someone's sending you money and they're allowed TTS for that amount, and if you do not take into consideration what they have sent, you're an asshole.
Yeah, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
And I've seen a very big streamer, a very, very big streamer that a lot of people like, and I don't like them. I don't like their interaction. I don't like their attitude. I don't like anything about their streams.
Got you. I watch
But yeah,
there's a couple streamers that I do like. There's a streamer named Dish that my niece I recently started playing Genshin Impact. I don't know if you've heard of that game.
I have indeed.
It's super popular, and it's really popular amongst the younger crowd. But my niece has just been like, you gotta play, you gotta play, you gotta play. So I'm like, all right, I'll download the damn thing. So I've been playing it, and I've been watching this streamer named Dish, and she's a really good streamer. She does maybe around like 1,500 views, but she's actually very, very genuine. There are good streamers out there that are genuine and don't take their popularity so fucking seriously like others do. You know.
So there's one under 1K or there or thereabouts. On a good day would probably be just over. Usually when I see them, they're on around 700 to 800. And Rob Raven, cosplaying Sea of Thieves streamer, usually dresses as Captain Jack Sparrow.
Nice.
Does the impersonations and everything, like really spot on.
Nice.
Spot on. I enjoy their streams because they are interactive with chat as much as they can be. Yeah. I think they only have like a 3-second slow timer, 3 to 5 second slow timer on their chat. And they try and be as interactive as they can be. They'd miss some, of course they're going to.
Yeah.
But also you have then the fact that they're in character. They sing. They're playing Sea of Thieves, which is a good game to watch.
Sure.
And even when you're lurking, you've just got to have them in the background, and it's quite a giggle to have someone who is this complete overt character, you know, and you don't always need to chat to them. And then when you do put a thing in chat, usually they pick it up, which is good. That's all I need.
What did you say the name of their streamer was? I'm curious.
Rob Raven.
Rob Raven.
ROBRAVEN.
Good to know. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. I actually like Sea of Thieves. I got into it earlier this year. I stopped because a couple of my buddies kind of stopped playing it, and it's just super fun with people. By yourself, it's kind of like okay.
If you need a buccaneer, I like playing it too. So we'll get in touch.
Oh, we're gonna be playing some shit together. Oh, yeah. Because I saw that you also play Phasmophobia from time to time.
Occasionally, yes. Phasmo does bore me like after an hour, but I do play Phasmo and mainly to play with other people.
Gotcha.
Been trying out a new one though. If you like Phasmo, Ghost Watchers.
Ghost Watchers.
Correct, and it's like basically it's like a very good middle ground between Phasmo and Ghost Exiles or whatever they're calling Ghost Incorporated, whatever they're calling it now.
Yeah.
Because I think Phasmo's too predictable, and then Ghost Exiles or Ghost Incorporated, I can't remember can't remember what they're calling it. That took too long to find the ghosts information. You had to go round and round a lot. Whereas Ghost Watchers has like a really nice middle ground, and the ghost can do some serious shit.
Really?
Like it can grab you and drag you through the house.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh,
the first time I did it to my friend Jimbo. Yeah, the first time I did it to my friend Jimbo, he likes playing Phasmo, but he gets scared at Phasmo. So we got him to play this. And it dragged him through the house, and he screamed. It was hilarious.
Shit. Ghost Watchers. Okay,
Ghost Watchers. Yeah,
that's one that I have to download. I'm a big Phasmo fan. I pride myself at being pretty all right at the game. But I have been kind of trying to find another game like in that realm. So I'm gonna keep that one. Right here.
Try that.
Okay,
I'll DM it to you afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. And also Rob Raven.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Number 5. What is your take on hot tub and ASMR streamers?
ASMR, I cannot stand from a personal point of view.
Okay.
Because I can't stand the sounds. One of my TikToks that went off massively was about something called misophonia, which is a condition that some people have for sounds, and it drives it's not even a thought process. It is an emotional, an extreme emotional reaction to sounds.
Yeah.
And for me, it's that lip smacking, the tongue movement and stuff like that. Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Now, for ASMR streamers that do that and more, and they get lots of views and money for it, fucking good on them.
Yeah.
If silly silly people want to watch and pay them to do things,
let them do it.
By all means, I've got no hate for them. No hate for them.
There's an audience.
Do I think that audience wants to watch me?
No.
Do they want to watch me dress up as Princess Leia and jump around and play 7 Days to Die and stuff like that? No.
No,
they don't.
I don't think they do.
They're not doing anything to me. They're not doing a damn thing to me, and good on them for getting their pay. And all these people that are like, oh, well, they shouldn't be doing it. They're exploiting. They're doing this. If people are on there paying money and they have the money to spend and they're stupid enough to spend it, then that's them.
I feel like there's two sides to it. And it, to me, there is an audience for it. And there are certain people that want to ingest that kind of content. Okay. You can't blame the streamer, and you can't blame the people who are in there paying the streamer, right? If you are, you're kind of just being a hater. Now, the flip side of that is, though, the last streamer showcase I had was with a gentleman named Mr. Fun01, and he made a good point. He said before Twitch was Twitch, it was Justin TV. Okay,
correct.
And Justin TV was where people were streaming like just whatever, it was crazy. And then when it switched off, Twitch was supposed to be dedicated to video games, and then they were supposed to keep all the other stuff on Justin TV. But now it's everything is on fucking Twitch now. So how I look at it is, I don't feel like that person in that hot tub should be my competition.
True.
I don't think that's like, that doesn't even up. I'm sitting here playing Super Mario Brothers, and they're sitting there in a hot tub in a bikini. Who's gonna win that battle? Probably them. But then again, there's an audience for people who want to watch Super Mario Brothers too.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't hate on it.
No. Again, are they your competition though? Realistically,
if we're all on the same platform. No.
True. But you're on the same platform, but let's take Super Mario's as an example. You're gaming on Super Mario's. They're in a different section on ASMR.
Sure.
People are looking for that specific thing. If they weren't looking for that specific thing, would they be on Twitch?
Right. No, probably not.
Would they be watching gaming? No, they'd probably be on some other site, some other that starts with an O or a P.
Yeah.
And then and they'd be spending their money there. In essence, this has lifted Twitch up and got them more views.
It has.
Should Twitch have better moderation for that? Because I know there's the argument for, it's a gaming thing. Twitch isn't anymore. We've got to be honest with that. It's not a gaming platform anymore. It is a multimedia platform.
Yes.
But there are still people of a young age using it. Is Twitch moderating that properly? I don't think so.
No.
Having something like, because I'm a mature streamer. I swear. I talk about kink. I talk about all sorts of things. I dress stupidly. The 4 costume changes I did on my 3-year anniversary stream was Sailor Mars, PVC French maid outfit.
Yeah, I saw.
Playboy bunny outfit, and then Princess Leia's outfit, but not the one where she's all in white with the buns. Yeah. No, I was the sex slave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you were the Jabba the Hutt version.
I was that one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't leave much to the imagination. So my stuff is more tailored towards people 18 and up.
Sure.
But if a child or minor or younger person wants to come into my stream, all they've got to do is press I accept.
Yep, that is it.
Because it says you have to be 18 or over, and it's mature streamer. Do you want to go in? I accept. There's no checks. There's no balances.
Yeah.
Will that make it more difficult for people to get in if they do checks and balances? Who knows? Will it stop people from watching you if they have to do those checks and balances? Who knows? We don't know because they've never been put in place. But I do think a certain type of moderation needs to be put in place. And again, this is not something we should blame those streamers for, because the platform is there to be used.
Right.
Twitch does not allow or hasn't got those moderations in process in place.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, it is a Twitch problem, not a streamer problem. And the same thing goes with hot tubs. Going back onto the hot tub thing that you asked, and I've done hot tub streams. I did a hot tub stream from my mum's back garden. It's
Did
hilarious.
you?
Absolutely,
That's
absolutely hilarious.
Funny. That is that still like? Can I go on your recent broadcast and see that?
No, that was ages ago. I don't even think I might have saved. If I saved it, I'll find it and put it up on the tube.
That's
funny.
But you think about with what you said, you think about a 9-year-old kid, all right, or
mm-hmm.
let's say like an 11-year-old kid whose hormones are just going crazy, right?
Yeah.
And he just realized that if he touches himself, he could beat off and all of this shit, right? So for that 11-year-old, no, real talk, for that 11-year-old kid who goes on Twitch, okay, who's horny as fuck and discovers Amaranth, for example, right? But that kid loves video games, plays Fortnite all the time, but he discovered Amaranth. He's probably going to be in an Amaranth stream more than he would be in a Fortnite stream, probably because he's a raging 11-year-old kid with hormones and shit. I know, and maybe this is just me speaking for myself, but if Twitch was around when I was a kid, okay, I would probably be in Amaranth stream just enamored by what I'm seeing. Like, oh my God, this is freaking crazy. And that's where sometimes I feel like, I wish that content, not knocking it, I wish that content had a place like an OnlyFans. Let that be where you do that and let Twitch be where the video games are.
Maybe because Twitch is not going to let go of that. It's too makes too much money and it brings too many people.
Yeah.
But maybe Twitch needs to make either an adult section or a Twitch Dark section or a Twitch Plus, that it moves that more mature content to. I like that idea. Even if it moved me, I got to say, even if it moved me, I wouldn't be too upset because I would know that I know that my stuff is mature. Yes, I play games, but I know that my stuff talks about areas and aspects of being an adult that people or children or young adults shouldn't really be privy to. Like I'm very open about sexuality, sex life, and kink. So, a 14, 15-year-old coming in and we're talking about bondage might not be the best thing to hear about. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Got you. Okay. Let's see. Number 6. What is what is the earliest memory you have with video games?
Thinking back, and it's something that sticks with me, and it could be that this isn't the right memory or the right thing, but the one that sticks out is playing on the original Nintendo, the NES, and I'm pretty sure it was a game called either Shinobi or Samurai.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a game either called Shinobi or Samurai, and it was a 2D so it scrolled up to down. You had to get across, and you were taking on ninjas. You had a samurai sword. That's the first game that I remember.
Interesting. Okay, so you had an NES as a kid. Was that your first console ever?
I do believe it was my first console, yes. And then we had the Mega Drive or the Sega Master System. So it had 2 names, didn't it?
Yeah.
No, Mega Drive, Sega Master System, Mega Drive, Sega Saturn.
I know that the Sega Genesis was called like the Sega Mega Drive.
The Genesis, that's the one. So because Master System was another one that looked very much like the NES. It was very blocky, and you put the cartridges into a thing, and then the Mega Drive or the Genesis was the ones you put the cartridges at the top.
That's right.
So I had the NES, and then I'm pretty sure I had the Master System. Sorry. Hey, little man. Calm down. Calm down. Mummy's getting you it now. So yeah, the NES, then the Master System, then the Mega Drive. But I was around, and I remember seeing the Atari 64s. That's like I'm an 80s baby. I'm a mid 80s baby. So,
same. I was born in 86.
Hey, 1 year before for me.
Nice.
Thank you, gorgeous.
Yeah, I remember going to my grandmother's house, and my aunt was living there at the time, and she had an Atari. and
Yeah.
I was playing Pac-Man on the joystick. Like some of my first real memories, aside from playing like Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, was playing that Pac-Man in my grandmother's house. And also, I'm a big baseball guy. Like baseball is my favorite sport. It's not even close. And yeah. And I remember there was a game called RBI Baseball for the NES, and my father and I used to play it. And we're talking, I was like, what, 4 or 5 years old. So here's my dad beating the brakes off of me every single time we would play. But I do remember one time it actually happened to where I beat him. But later in life, he would tell me that he let me beat him, and I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Number 7. What is your favorite video game of all time?
First one that comes to mind. There are a few really good ones. First one that comes to mind: Final Fantasy VII, the original.
Let's fucking go. Sorry,
original.
I got super excited.
Exactly. It was just, it dragged you in. It was amazing. There was so much to it. There were 4 discs. Discs.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
I have started playing the remake. I have not got far into it. I tried playing it on stream, didn't go too well, and also I don't like playing story-based RPGs on stream.
Too much reading.
And I want to get involved. I don't want to talk to chat. I've done it, and I played Valhalla and the Final Fantasy VII reboot, and I don't want to talk to chat, and I'm all about chat, so I didn't want to talk to chat, so I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
But the original Final Fantasy VII, I had something like 150 hours in that game on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, for sure.
I could play it again now. I wouldn't even care.
Yeah, I've beaten it, I want to say 3 times in my life. One was fairly recent. I actually beat it when they ported it to mobile. That blew my mind. The fact that I can play Final Fantasy VII on my iPhone. And so I ended up, and this was, I want to say, maybe 5-6 years ago, I ended up beating it on my phone.
Nice. That's cool.
Back in the day when Final Fantasy VII came out, as a kid, I'd never seen anything like that before. I never played any of the Final Fantasies prior to that. But just setting up your magic and like coupling materia with different attacks and stuff, it just like my mind as a kid was blown away. Blown away, and legit tears when Sephiroth ended up doing what he did to Aerith. Legit fucking tears, bro.
No, like honestly, Sephiroth, as much I idolize Sephiroth, but even still when he did that, I was like, you gotta die. You gotta die.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. You gotta die now.
That fight at the end was, oh my god, dude. Let me tell you something, bro. I beat Sephiroth's first form, and then I thought that the game was over. I'm like, oh, I won. And then this music, bum, 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 and then they start to chant Sephiroth's name. And I'm Sephiroth, Sephiroth, and I'm like, holy, this is awesome, bro. And so it was a crowning achievement of my life to actually beat that game.
And the cutscenes, which by today's standard are nowhere near. But do you remember, like, so obviously you're playing with the blocky sort of, not even 8-bit, maybe a little bit more than it, but like the characters, and then the cutscenes came in. I just remember sitting back going,
yeah. She's
on a bike. The bike is moving. What is going on?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, man. That so game, good. It was my childhood. Period.
Oh yeah. Just wanted to be some sort of mix between Cloud and Sephiroth, and just be all the type of badass.
You got to finish that reboot, man.
Yes, I will. Without a doubt.
You got to. Whether on stream or not, I would say don't do it on stream.
No, I'm not going to.
Absorb yourself in that. It's so crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. Moving along here. I've seen your stream, and you have a very nice overlay that coincides with your name. How important do you think overlays are to growing as a streamer, or do you not think it matters at all?
Branding matters. Overlays, not so much.
Okay.
As long as, so there's a bit of a defining feature in there. So having overlays and not having overlays there's no real difference. You could just have a game and your camera, as long as your camera's nice looking and or even just game and mic, fine. There is a difference between when you have overlays though, and when they're too much, or just right, or not enough. Like, so not enough isn't a problem. Like if you've just got, pardon me, if you've just got a surround, something goes around your camera, and a couple of scenes, fine. That's, some people like, that's not enough. That's fine.
That's perfect.
When you have everything, all unsundry, going across your screen, you've got people's names in big text, you've got your subs, you've got your sub goal, you've got the name of your sponsors,
right?
Well, that's not sponsors, affiliates who make money, whose companies make money off you, and then you've got all the bits at the bottom. Where's the game?
Right.
Where's the interaction?
You can barely see the game with everything fucking going on.
Yeah, even if you sort of take the game down to this, and then move it in between everything, how are people supposed to absorb the game? How are people supposed to not see everything else that's going on around, regardless of whether you've got ADHD, ADD, whatever it is, or not?
Right.
How are you supposed to take the game in? How are you supposed to watch you when everything's going off? And I have ADHD, so every little thing catches my eye.
Sure.
Like, I'd be like going, ooh, like all the things in the background. I keep checking things out, and I'm loving the background, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And so it is, it is a case of where is the game and where are you in comparison to what you have going on your screen. So I don't think it matters whether you have an overlay or not. I think the only thing that matters is when your overlay is too much.
Yeah, I agree. I've gone through many different overlays. I am never satisfied with a damn thing. I'm weird like that. But I've had minimal overlays to where it's just my camera and a little border. I've had overlays with like people's names and shit, recent follower, recent sub, recent sharer, recent donation, when hardly anyone actually does the actual donation. It's mostly just fucking cheers and random shit. So so it's just one person sitting there for fucking ever because only one person donated to me. But I think it's too much. And you know what? I don't think that people, the viewer, I don't think that they care who the most recent follower is, or who.
No.
Maybe some people do, like when they push the follow button, they want to see something come up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh, thank you for following such and such. Right? Cool.
Yeah.
But to just have too many banners and just too much going on, it's like,
no, it's not needed.
It's like not needed, right?
Yeah, even if at the bottom of the screen you had a little rolling text saying, recent follow, recent, and it did it intermittently. It doesn't need to constantly roll around. But so I make all my own overlays. I make everything from scratch.
Nice.
I
Me
put
too.
it all together. And much like yourself, I'm never satisfied with it. Like the most recent stuff I've done, I think the only thing I'm really happy with is the hype train stuff that I've done. Because I've tried to make a hype train stuff now a big celebration. So my screen breaks, this train comes out, there's a vortex that goes on.
Okay.
And
nice.
Then my screen makes itself back up, and then up the top here you'll have like so each level is a different giveaway, because as much as hype trains are awesome, and I get paid for it and whatever, it is a slight incentive to try and get to the next levels, but also it's more about giving back as well. I want to give back.
Yeah.
And then each level has, again, a massive explosion. It says level 1 and all sorts goes on.
That's cool.
That's the only thing I'm really happy with. And even then, I now want to make modifications to it after the last stream where it went off. But my overlays, my camera, always could be better. Always could be next level. Always could be something else.
I'm the same way, dude. I really am.
But if anyone's listening to this and thinking about doing their overlays or getting overlays sorted, keep it simple. Have one scene that might have everything on it and just your camera, like a just chatting screen that has everyone's names, everyone's whatever, all the information. that you can swap between, but when you're gaming, keep
it should
simple, in my opinion.
And I am 100% the same way. And I've gone through different iterations to where I'm doing what I'm doing what I'm saying that people shouldn't do. I've had because as a Twitch streamer, I throw shit against the wall and I see if it sticks.
Yeah, and that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
And then also you see the people that stream alongside you, that watch other streamers that have, when was your latest sub? Who was your latest sub? And you're thinking, can I drive a little bit more incentive? Can I push a little bit more? Because let's be honest, whilst Twitch is fun, a bit of a hobby, some of us do try to do it to make money. And you do have to treat it a little bit like a business and think about not how can I scam people, but how can I maybe push a little bit more of an incentive?
Right.
How can I try and make people maybe think about pushing that button?
Right.
But having names up there of how many subs and how many people subbed or who's your latest sub, that's not going to do it for you. No. A gift sub goal or a sub goal might. I think there's evidence that it actually does by about 10 to 20% or something like that. But even then, that needs to be in the corner, out the way, or in another screen when you've got it big and in everyone's face. But not when you're gaming. Not when you're gaming.
I really do like that idea. On your just chatting, you can have all of that stuff. The most recent person that fucking redeemed the channel point, whatever. Whatever you want, you put there. But when you are playing a game, I feel like it should be as minimal as possible because there are a lot of games that have a lot going on. Like little messages pop up. If you're like me playing Genshin Impact, if I pick something up off the ground, it says, "Oh, you just picked up a mushroom." Or whatever. Or there may be like a little map or something like that people can't see if you got too much shit going on. So I definitely do agree with you on that one, big time. All right, let's see. Number 9. Do you think games like Call of Duty have the potential to influence people to go out and commit violence?
No.
Okay.
That's it. No.
Period.
I think it allows you to create or output a certain level of violence in game. Yeah, yes. Does it desensitize you to violence? Possibly. Are you going to pick up an AR-15 and shoot up a school because you play Call of Duty? No. If you are predisposed, whether it be through mental health, trauma, psychopathy, whatever it might be, if you are predisposed to do that let's take the school shooting situations as an example, really fucking sad example, and I don't mean to use this lightly at all. But let's take that as an example because I know that was one recently where they brought up COD or gaming. And fucking boils my blood, honestly.
Yeah.
If you are predisposed to that, if you have untreated mental health, if you aren't talking to people about it, if you have trauma that you can't deal with, and this isn't to say that all people who fall under those categories are likely to do that, but then if you are then going to do that, it doesn't matter whether you played the game, whether you saw a movie, whether you read a book, whether you were talking to a friend, you are going to do it. If the idea to pick up a weapon was put into your head by a game and you went and do it, all it took was a spark, and the kindling, the fuel was already there.
You had the spark in you to begin with.
Yeah, it just needed an idea.
Right.
And that idea can come from anywhere. So what do? Do we stop art? Do we stop media? Do we stop the news? Should we stop people watching the war that's going on over in whatever country that's happening, Russia and Ukraine, whatever's going on in the world at the moment? Because all it takes is someone to see a pipe bomb and go, "Oh, pipe bomb."
Right. I agree.
My simple answer is no. And if you want, I've dragged it out to be like,
but it starts at home, does it not? It starts with the parents. I mean, some people are. I had this conversation in the last one when I was talking to Mr. Fun. Some people are just born with a screw loose. That's just the way it is sometimes. But I do feel like it starts in the home. I feel like if a kid is neglected by their parents and they don't have that well of an upbringing, and the kid is just allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, and little Timmy's been in the basement for a long fucking time, and I don't know what he's doing down there, and I'm not gonna check on him. Exactly, little Timmy may be getting ready to do some fucked up shit. So, you know, if you have a screw loose and then you couple that with a bad upbringing, then it's a possible recipe for disaster that video games wasn't gonna fucking make or break anyway. That kid had it in him to begin with.
Most of us use video games as a release, as a break from reality. Very, 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 very few of us bring that gaming into reality and try to recreate it, or try to manifest it in some way. And usually there is an ulterior motive behind that, as you said, poor upbringing, neglectful parents. And you know, some kids, like, blame's not always completely on the parents. Some kids are great in front of the parents and they're not great elsewhere. But then we need to find ways of capturing that information and dealing with that, whether it be a mental health issue, whether it be a trauma issue, whatever it is. And also, you know, making people realize that they're hurting innocent people. Yeah, I know they're hurting too. I know that, you know, whatever their reasons are, they're hurting, but then they're not hurting the people that have hurt them. They're not hurting the people that have neglected them. They're not hurting the whatever that thought process is going on in their head. They're hurting innocence.
Yes.
So long answer there, but short answer, fuck no. Games don't make people violent.
I agree 100%. And
I was violent. So go on.
No. One of the edgy questions that I'm going to ask you has to do with the mass shooting. So we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But yeah. What were you going to say before I go on?
I was made violent way before violent video games were there. Like I've been to therapy for anger management and depression in my mid-20s. And like that was due to my upbringing. I was violent and have been violent and have the capability of extreme violence because of my upbringing. Like not because I played violent video games. Do I like violent video games? Oh fuck yeah, it makes me feel good.
Hell yeah.
Like did I like it when Manhunt came out and then was instantly banned and I managed to get a copy? Oh fuck yes.
Hell yeah. Yo, Manhunt was crazy when it first came out, dude.
Even I've replayed it. Still just.
It still holds up. Wow,
it's been forever. Getting someone from behind with the red arrows,
yes,
and with a plastic bag. Yeah, the pleasure from like wrapping it and then kneeing them. I was just like, I like this game so much. But again, I'm not going to go out on the street and do that to someone.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to go out on the street and do that to someone. Do I have access to a plastic bag? I got tons in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Do I have people that I would like to do that to? More than likely.
Probably.
Am I going to go do it just because
you played Manhunt?
No.
Probably not.
No. Someone fucks me up the wrong way and ends up getting on my wrong side. More than likely going to happen, but not with a plastic bag. It would just be these.
Okay. Well, it depends on how bad you fuck me over. If I got to whip out the plastic bag, I'll whip out the plastic bag. All right. Number 10, the last question in the gaming and streaming section. If you were given £5 million to throw out your PC, never play video games again, never stream again, would you take the money?
Oh, that's difficult because that could set me up for life. I have other hobbies that I'm pretty good at. I draw, I sketch.
Okay.
I design tattoos, but
nice.
To never play video games ever again.
Ever again.
I'd need a week to think about it. I'd need like a full week to think about it.
No week. You got a briefcase in front of you right now. Boom. Open it up. That's £5 million right there, buddy.
What happens if I play video games after accepting?
Then I don't know. The repo man's gonna come and take the money from you. I don't know.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I physically could. I would like to say yes to £5 million dollars, whatever.
I did I did the $5 million, but then I did like the dollars to pounds. So 5 million pounds is roughly a little bit over $6 million here.
Yeah. So £5 million. I would want to, and I'd want to try to, but then I'd probably end up playing a game at some point.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
No, I know. So I probably would fuck up and not be able to.
Interesting. I've had mixed answers. Like some people say they'll take the money for obvious reasons. It could change my family's life. I could buy my mother a house. I can do this. I can do that with it. And there have been others that were like, I don't care. I love video games way too much.
Yeah, like I see the good that could come from 5 million. And to be honest, I wouldn't even need 5 million if I'm being honest. Like just to set myself up, that's an exorbitant amount. Like that's a grand amount.
Yeah.
The things I could do with that would be ridiculous. But then I know at some point I'd download something on my phone, or I'd buy a Switch, then
you'd mess up.
And then that would be it, and then it's all taken and gone.
Yeah, it's all taken from you.
I'd really want to, but
you physically can't do it.
No.
You know what? I'll give you one of these right here, because when you really do have such a love for video games to the point that money doesn't matter, like I'm sure I can hit you with, okay, what about 10 million, 15 million? And now it's like, bro, well, what the fuck do you want me to say? Like that's a lot of freaking money. But when you love video games that much, then I fucking respect it, dude. I respect it.
And it doesn't matter what the price would be. I as I said, I know at some point I would download something somewhere, and I'll mess up, and then there's the consequences, and it will happen because it will just take one day of me sitting down and going, I'm bored of Netflix now. What could I do? And then I'm looking over, and there's like a game I can download a game on the TV or on my phone, and done.
Done. Money's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Nice. Well, we're done with the gaming and streaming questions. Now I'm going to hit you, my good sir, with 15 rapid fire speed round questions. Are you ready, my good sir?
Let's go.
Number 1, McDonald's or Taco Bell?
Taco Bell.
Number 2, Mario or Sonic?
Sonic.
Number 3, boxers or briefs?
Boxers, but they have to be tight boxers.
Got you. Number 4, summer or winter?
Winter.
Number 5, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Number 6, Android or iPhone?
Android.
Number 7, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Number 8, hot dogs or hamburgers?
Hamburgers.
Number 9, coffee or tea?
Tea every day. British.
Number 10. Okay, number 10, Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Number 11, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Number 12, TikTok famous or YouTube famous?
YouTube famous.
Number 13, Simpsons or Family Guy?
Simpsons.
Number 14, theme park or water park?
Water park.
And number 15, horror or comedy?
Horror.
Horror? Nice.
Even though horrors nowadays are crap.
Yes, it is. It's hard to scare me. It's really, really hard.
Yeah.
What's the last movie that really scared you?
The Grudge, but the Japanese version.
Ju-on Grudge, yeah. Okay. The last movie that scared me was Hereditary. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't yet, but it is on our list to watch on Netflix.
I would say, is it on Netflix?
I think it is. It might be on the UK version.
Oh, okay, got you. Wherever I know I found it on Amazon Prime, Prime Video. Yeah. Wherever you can, I would say watch Hereditary and get back to me and tell me what you think. Because that movie actually kind of fucking scared me.
Yeah. So I baby of the 80s like yourself, so brought up on Nightmare on Elm Street, all those sorts of really fucked up movies, and watched them at a really young age as well.
Sure, me too.
And so like watching scary movies nowadays, like whatever. But Ju-on made me turn lights off and run upstairs.
Wow.
Like walking up the stairs, I felt this thing behind me. I'm like, nope, boom, gone. Now, admittedly, I was in my 20s, but I was like, nah, not sticking around for this.
What do you think of the paranormal? What is it? Paranormal Activity movies?
Nah,
they didn't do it for you.
Nah.
Really? Okay.
Nah. All that sort of paranormal activity stuff that you see either on YouTube or on TikTok or whatever social media you consume it
Yeah,
on.
that's all fake.
Some of them make give me goosebumps a little bit because you think your brain goes into, oh, what if? But realistically, I'm sitting there going, meh.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay.
Like you give me a good Korean Japanese made horror. They do it so well. I
Yes.
don't know why, but they do it so well. And been binge watching stuff, Korean stuff on Netflix. All of Us Are Dead. There's a couple of other things on there that are just like the Korean stuff they're bringing out on Netflix is far
It's
superior
all
to anything.
stellar. Yeah, it is. Squid Game. Squid Game was fantastic.
Another one, yep.
Fantastic. Yes. There's another one that a friend of mine told me about after I watched Squid Game, and it was a Korean show. Fuck, I forgot.
Do you remember what it was based around?
It's something with Borderlands, something like that. No. Maybe.
Alice in Underland or Wonderland. Borderlands.
Alice in Borderlands. Yes. Is that's
great? Great.
Is it okay?
So messed up.
Really? Okay.
Fucking love it.
How do you like stack it up to Squid Games?
You can't compare it. Squid Games is everyone in a confined space. Right. This is a similar premise. Imagine if Squid Games was being run by the Riddler from DC. Yeah, but Riddler had a severe psychotic breakdown.
Okay.
And took lessons from Jigsaw.
What? Okay, so I need to watch this now. The way you just did that was really interesting. Okay, I need to watch this.
I try and make it as visual as possible, knowing my resources, and also trying to use like main resources as well. But yeah, talking about Riddler, when you said Marvel and DC, I don't hate DC, and I don't actually have a comic favorite, but I read a lot more Marvel than I do DC.
Okay, got you. I feel like I've always favored DC characters more than Marvel characters. I like Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's cool. Iron Man, I mean, he's all right. Captain America, he's cool, I guess. But Batman, to me, like I think fucking Batman is fucking outstanding.
Are you a Bat stan though? It's like can Batman like solo the Marvel universe in your opinion?
No.
That's hell good no. Then. No, because there are people that believe that, and he's so good. It doesn't matter how much prep time Batman's got. That ain't happening.
No, Batman. He's a man in a suit, and that's it. It's not about. But that's what I like about Batman is that he doesn't have a superpower per se, but he's smart. He's quote unquote the world's greatest detective. Have you seen the new Batman movie?
I have indeed.
Did you like it?
I did. I'm a bit of a weird one when it comes to that. So I break down Batman performances into how good were they as Batman and how good were they as Bruce Wayne.
Okay. What did you think of Robert Pattinson?
Pattinson was a really good Batman. I like the armored suit, which is a bit of a contentious opinion amongst comic people. The comic community. I really like the armored suit, but his Batman was not. His Batman was great. His
Bruce was a little
was not well written.
It was a very different Bruce Wayne.
It was emo Bruce Wayne. But then,
for sure. Yeah.
Even then, he wasn't given much to show as Bruce Wayne. Yeah. There was a lot of him as Batman.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much of him as Bruce Wayne, and the bits that were there were very solemn, very melancholy.
Yes,
without the context.
He's a recluse, like he doesn't like he wouldn't go out during the day, which is why that one scene that he was wearing the sunglasses when it was daytime out. I think that we're so used to seeing Bruce Wayne in a certain light, wearing the suits and going to the parties and being the billionaire Bruce Wayne, that this Bruce Wayne, a lot of people were taken aback by because he's nothing like any of the others. But his Batman was outstanding.
Yeah, I think a couple of monologues or a little bit of deep diving on that Bruce Wayne, and we would have understood it and enjoyed it more.
Sure.
But there, it's like I'm not a fan of Christian Bale's Batman. which a lot of people, I'm not a fan of Christian Bale's Batman.
I wasn't a fan of the "Where's the trigger?" all the extra.
That killed it for me.
I didn't like that. I liked how Ben Affleck. A lot of people give Ben Affleck a lot of shit.
Really good Batman.
I thought it was great.
I was hating on it. When I heard about it, I was hating on it. I was like, but what about Daredevil? And then I really took the time to think about it, and I was like, was Daredevil bad because Ben Affleck was bad, or because it was a really shoddily written movie?
Yeah.
And the second is the truth. First, I'm going to put this down because I keep pointing this like a knife. It's a hairpin, and I keep playing with it. But his Batman was great, and his Bruce Wayne was great. Yes. He was good on both, which is like Christian Bale. Great Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
Don't like his Batman.
Yeah.
Especially this.
Yeah.
Where's the bomb?
Right. It's way too much. Way too much. Ben Affleck's Batman had like he used like something to mask his voice, which
that's perfect. That makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I can think about that in a comic aspect and go, would Bruce Wayne have masked his voice with some sort of defibrillator or whatever you want to call it on his throat to try and make sure people didn't guess his voice? Yes, Bruce Wayne would have done that.
Right. Because he's smart as fuck.
Exactly. Ben Affleck was great. My favorite is still to this day, and it's mainly because of the movies, is Michael Keaton.
Of course.
Like Batman, great. Bruce Wayne, not he was a different Bruce Wayne, kind of suave and a little.
He was very suave, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was the kind of the sarcastic aspect of him that being British is sarcasm is our lifeblood.
Yeah.
I think that worked for me as well. We're not even going to talk about the blonde one.
The blonde one. Val Kilmer.
Yeah, no, not even talking about him. And like he's even worse than Bat Nipples, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Bat Nipples was fucking terrible. I mean, George Clooney had no business being Bat. That was like in Batman and Robin to me was like a parody.
Yes.
I think that George Clooney was a parody. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a parody of what Mr. Freeze actually is. Like you got Arnold like cracking jokes. I always go a size smaller. It makes me look slimmer. Like really? Like, is that what the fuck we're doing?
It's time to freeze.
Right. Oh, just fucking terrible. Listen, dude, I can talk about comics and Batman in particular for fucking ever. All right.
Another podcast. Then.
Yeah. Another podcast for another day. But I do have to ask you, favorite Joker of all time?
Oh.
I have to know this since we're on the subject before we move on.
Any Joker or just movie Joker?
It can be any Joker. You can pick Mark Hamill if you want.
Yeah, it has to be Mark Hamill, but I know that's just the voice. But like when I think Joker, my head instantly goes to Mark Hamill's voice. But actor wise, don't make me choose between Nicholson and Ledger.
Yeah,
don't. Ledger would probably just hit the post.
Yeah,
because Jack Nicholson was the clown prince of crime.
Yes, he
was the clown prince of crime. Whereas Ledger is your
he's like the dark clown prince of crime.
Yeah, he is like the anarchist version. And in the comics, you do get different versions of the Joker, even to the point where I actually think if Leto was given, and people are going to hate me for this, but if Jared Leto was given more time in Suicide Squad, even a little bit more airtime, he would have easily fit the role of there's like a mobster Joker. He would have fit that role.
Yeah,
without a doubt, he had that vibe. But what he was given was not enough.
Yeah, it was bad. Like a lot of his lines were bad. I feel like I'm not a Zack Snyder fan. The director, I'm not. I don't really like the way he shoots movies. Everything looks overly green screened, and that's what I really do appreciate about the newest Batman. But I feel like just Jared Leto was just way too over the top with his antics and shit, to the point that on set, I don't know if you heard this or not. On set, Jared Leto was sending bags of shit to some of his castmates, just
Mm-hmm.
because he's trying to like embody this guy. He's trying to do what Heath Ledger did.
He's trying method. He's over method.
Perfect. Thank you. He's method acting way too fucking hard here.
Yeah.
But I will say this: have you seen the Snyder Cut, the 4-hour movie?
I have, yes.
At the very, very end, long-haired Jared Leto Joker. That was a good scene with him and Batman. I didn't mind it at all. Scene. And he mentioned also, killing Robin.
He did, yeah. I remember watching that going, comic related.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like that. The Snyder Cut should have been the original cut. Like there's no way that the original should have ever come out. Like the difference in movie. Now, I still think that it was even in that 4 hours, I still think it was rushed. I still think there was 3 movies there that they've put into one movie.
Yeah, they shouldn't have.
DC do that all the time. DC does it all the time.
Yeah.
But the original cut was, I watched that movie and I was like, that was a waste of 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
the original was really, really bad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So moving on, we have the 5 edgy questions to wrap up the streamer showcase with the king himself across the pond. Damn it. The first question that I'm going to ask you is this. What is your opinion of Donald Trump?
Would be better if he was dead.
Okay.
I have a disdain for politicians in the main anyway, especially with the way current events are going. But I honestly feel that America has, and this is from an outside perspective, and I'm sorry if you get hate for this or I get hate via you, America has been incredibly divided on so many fronts for so long that it needed no more division. It needed unity, it needed love, acceptance, and to be brought together, all the communities of America. America is a country of immigration and people who shouldn't have been there in the fucking first place, right? So when you're now creating division between people because you think they shouldn't be here, like just everyone needs to come together. They don't need a person in office that creates more division.
I agree with you.
More turmoil amongst people.
It just seems like it seems like in America with politicians and with upper, middle, lower class and all of that shit, it's kind of like there's a cool kids club and you're either in it or you're not.
Well, you've kind of inherited our class system, but nowhere near as strict or rigid or pronounced as over here. Our class system is still so pronounced. You know when you're in a wealthy area, you know when you're in a non-wealthy area, you know who the wealthy people are, you know where you sit on that ladder, because the government makes sure you know, and the people at the top and in the middle make sure the bottom.
Let me ask you this question. How is discrimination over there in terms of class? Like if you're a lower class citizen and you go into a wealthy area and you may not be wearing designer clothes, or you may look like you're lower class, do you get looks, or are you discriminated against? How does that work over there?
There are still a lot of forms of discrimination. I would definitely say that class is probably one of the most pronounced, and definitely still very much alive and out there.
Okay.
Obviously, there are other forms of discrimination that I don't get to have against me because of the way I look, and the privileges I have with that.
I mean, racial discrimination is all over the world. Period.
Oh yeah, it still is.
Yeah.
You okay? Yeah. Sorry, 2 seconds, Luke.
Yeah.
Baby. I'll be there as soon as possible, baby. Racial discrimination does happen over here. Definitely, without it's not even a thing to question.
Okay.
Is class one of those things that sort of merges both race discrimination and class discrimination? Yes, because you know the way that people of color have been pushed to the lower classes of society in this country,
right?
But then that's something even I have been discriminated with. One of the things I'll go into, and I'll try and make it as short as possible. I used to date someone who was of a middle class background, middle to higher class background, and they went to Oxford University, which is one of the most prestigious universities in the UK, maybe even in the world.
Sure.
Who knows?
Sure.
And I am from a working class background. I don't mix my words, and at the time especially, I speak a bit better now because I had to manage my own company for a couple of years. But I didn't like dot my I's, T's, and I dropped my T's and H's and stuff.
Sure.
So definitely had weird looks. People literally going, is he with you? I'm like, yeah, and what?
Right.
Like, so you know when you are in the presence.
What is
of
it?
someone
The tattoos or what you were wearing? Like,
I had less tattoos at the time. I am loud. I am brash.
okay.
It's the way you talk. So although I'm, as I said, more well spoken now, I still talk with a slight London accent, and there are things that come with being brought up on a council estate. Closest thing I could call to a council estate would be like a ghetto.
Sure.
Or a slum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So put it this way, I was brought up in an area that was basically an entirely brick and concrete, and it was 2 miles long, and there was just apartment blocks that were made out of concrete and brick, and it just went on for 2 miles. It basically looked like a prison on a road.
Wow.
And so when you grow up there, you have a certain way of speaking. So you don't enunciate as most posh people do, and
you have a slang. You have your own slang, right?
Yeah, you slang. Like I kiss my teeth, I do all that sort of stuff because that's where I was brought up. That's the way I spoke with my people that I lived around.
Right.
And so even in my 20s when we were dating, I still had that a little bit. Like there, I'm going back there a little bit. Dating.
Okay. Right.
But
and wow, so I didn't know that enunciating so properly is like a big thing, and it divides you, because over here, I mean, you look at some of the artists and some of the movie stars over here, like a lot of them still speak with slang and still talk like they're from the hood and shit like that. And it just seems like over here that's a little bit more accepted, maybe.
I think it's become a little bit more accepted, but I think even if you were to look at the difference between people of an older generation and how they react to people who do AAVE.
What's that? AAVE.
So, I forgot the thing for it now. Let me have a look. So basically, it's is it African American vernacular? It's basically how people speak when they're from certain areas in America that the posh white people don't like.
Okay, got you.
Hang on, here you go. I want to make sure I was nearly there. African American vernacular English.
Okay.
So it's basically like the sort of language you get in sort of rap and in the areas where a lot of people of color congregate.
Sure. Okay.
And so if you look at the difference between how maybe a couple of old 60-year-old white Trump supporters listen to people who do AAVE, and then interact with them, that's very similar to how. Sorry, that was a notification. It's probably very similar to how people look at lower class people and the way that we speak.
Got you. Okay. Very, very interesting. I'm loving this conversation that we're having. All right, because I just it fascinates me that you are not that. It fascinates me how big the fucking world is. Okay,
yeah.
How we both have a love for video games and a love for streaming and stuff like this, but we come from two completely different walks of life. And having this conversation is so intriguing, and it's so cool to me. Number 2, do you think abortion should be legal or illegal, and why?
Legal, completely legal, and completely at the discretion of the woman or person carrying the baby. They are the one that is carrying that group of cells at that point of time, all the way to term or not. And for whatever reason they have, and it doesn't matter. And I know there's going to be arguments of, yeah, but some people use that as a form of contraception. Tough shit.
Yeah.
Does that mean because that person does it, that person down the lane who has an abusive partner cannot afford another child because already has 3 and is trying to get out of that relationship, they shouldn't be allowed that now?
Right.
Nah.
Right.
Nah. Yes, there are people that take the piss out of systems. It doesn't matter what system you put in place, people take the piss out of it. Doesn't matter. So over here we have like we have the NHS, we have a benefit system which pays people that can't be at work. And are there people that take the piss out of that? Yes. Should we stop all those systems because of that group of people? I'm okay. Yeah, we could, and then there would be about a couple hundred thousand, maybe a couple million people that would die.
Right.
We've already seen in the States that, you know, women are nearly dying, or there are children that are having to go across state borders to seek alternatives because of this thing that's happening. And don't get it twisted, people that are watching this who think that this isn't going to happen where you live. It's already been spoke about in the UK Parliament.
Really?
Already been spoke about in UK Parliament, and not that I'm one to incite anarchism or violence.
to make it illegal.
Yes,
really,
because there are companies, and this is only from what I've read somewhere. I know for a fact it has been spoken about, but this next bit I'm about to say is only from what I've read. Is that there are companies, and I believe they are American-based companies that are pro-life, that are paying politicians over here to speak about the programs and try and put it into law. I
can totally see it. Unfortunately, this country is ran by conservative gentlemen with small penises who feel like they should have the right to, or the authority to, tell a woman what to do with her body, and it absolutely doesn't make any sense to me. And the argument that I always make is this: okay, if that particular politician who thinks that abortion should be illegal, if they have a 9-year-old daughter who was walking home from school and got raped by a fucking goddamn crackhead, you cannot tell me that child should have to birth that kid. No, not
at all.
No.
And you know, using, and I'm not a religious person, but using the name of a and I should try not to be, because I can be very I'm
not religious either, dude.
I can be very atheist, but I don't want to offend anyone who is a Christian that tries to do the best they can.
Speak your mind, brother. Speak your mind.
Okay, cool. If you use the name of an imaginary sky daddy to try and put laws in place because you think that's the right thing to do,
right,
go fuck yourself.
Agreed.
You've got an opinion, keep it to your damn self. And if you're willing to take that opinion to, as far as this, how about you get your mistress not to have that abortion when she's pregnant?
Right. That period. You know what, Baron von Cheese said something that kind of resonated with me when we were on this subject here. He said, I don't need a book to tell me how to be a good person and how to raise my children into being good people.
No, not at all. Religion has its place, I think. And religion has its.
This is actually going to be the last question. We keep going into stuff that I'm going to end up saying.
Sorry,
and no, it's great because that means that we're on the same wavelength. Let me knock this out, and we're going to have the religion talk. Number 3, in regards to COVID-19, do you think the vaccine should be mandatory or not?
No.
Okay.
I think I've had the vaccine, and I agree with the vaccine, and I honestly believe that it is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. But I also believe that forcing it upon people is not the right thing to do, because we're going down a sort of a fascist regime aspect, and I don't think that's right. If people want to be stupid, let them be stupid. Yes, it will affect others. I completely understand that argument. But if we're talking about true freedom and we're talking about autonomy of the body, we should allow that for sure, and make sure that people who need to be vaccinated and the people who need to be protected are protected.
I agree 100%. I feel like I didn't want to get the vaccine. I didn't. I'm weird like that. I don't like people. I don't like people to tell me what to do. It's just unless you're my boss and money's on the line. But over here in the States, I don't know how strict everything got over there, but when 2020 and COVID really started to kick off, you couldn't do shit. You couldn't walk into an establishment without a mask. You couldn't. There were certain states, like New York City, for example, is like 20 minutes from me with no traffic. I'm always going. I've been going into New York my whole entire life. There's amazing things there, obviously. New York required a vaccination card. So you couldn't go to a restaurant. You couldn't do shit in New York unless you had proof that you were vaccinated. So my fiance kind of looked at me and she was like, she had to get vaccinated for work. So she's a flight attendant, so she has to fucking be vaccinated. But she looked at me and she was like, you know what? I there's certain things that I want to do that we can't do because you're not vaccinated. All right.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, what ended up happening was I ended up catching COVID and I was sick for about 3 weeks. I was fucking out of commission, brother. It was really, really, really bad. And
it's no joke, is it? It's no joke.
It's no joke. There is, however, a positive that came from it because I used to smoke cigarettes all the time, half a pack a day type of guy. And when COVID happened, or when I got COVID, it was in January of this year, and it was really, really cold outside. All right, but I still felt the need. I had to go have a fucking.
You wanted
cigarette.
that toke.
I needed it. I needed it because I was addicted. I found myself being so sick, going outside and it's snowing and I'm shivering because I had to do this. And then it was at that moment that I was like, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes anymore. I'm allowing this shit to have too much of a grasp on my fucking testicles right now. And I can't fucking do this no more. So that was the only positive that came out of it. But after I was done having the COVID, I went and I got my vaccine. I'm like, I have to.
Yeah. There's so much around the vaccine. I understand it. There's so much misinformation and, disinformation and even information that seems real and isn't or is. And I get that, and it can be difficult. I mean, the internet's a wonderful place. It has allowed us to do so much and connect together so well.
Yeah.
But it has also allowed for so much hate and stupidity that I can understand why people are skeptical about the vaccines. Even I am, and I'm as much as I'm not a government boot lackey,
right?
By any way, shape, or form, I was like, this is the best thing for me to do, and this is best for my family and for those around me that I interact with, and that's why I didn't question it. So, but no hate on anyone that doesn't get it.
Sure, it should be whatever. It should be their choice. It should, regardless of how we feel on it. It's there. It kind of goes back into the whole abortion thing. Don't tell someone what to do with their body. Like you shouldn't have the right to fucking do that. Period.
No.
All right.
I mean, the only argument is one has the possibility of spreading a disease.
Yeah.
The other is, But again, your body, your control, and it should always be that. And that was one of the things that made me laugh as well, where anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers were like, my body, my choice, and then you're like, motherfucker, what?
right. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I'm so happy that we're getting away from that now. It's really loosened up. Has it loosened up over there, or do you still?
We're picking back up.
Okay, it's picking back up.
The government's not doing anything about it. And they haven't for ages, but cases have started to pick back up.
Oh shit! Okay.
So it's one of those things. We got past that point of pandemic into endemic, and this is now something we're living with.
Oh, right.
COVID is now going to be something we have to live with.
Right. It's gonna be like the flu now.
It's our new winter flu. Yeah.
Yeah. Got you.
The Earth's just trying to get rid of us. I'm pretty sure she's pissed off and she's just like, I've had enough of you fuckers.
Yeah.
You're a parasite. Be gone.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. One day we're going to look up in the sky and there's going to be a nice big old asteroid coming down. And then whether you got a fucking vaccine or not ain't going to matter no more.
No.
All right. Number 4. In America, our gun laws absolutely suck. And there's been many mass shootings. You being from the UK, what's your opinion on all this? We kind of touched on it earlier.
We did. It needs sorting. You guys need to sort it. Like, how is it fair to send children to a school not knowing whether they're going to come home?
Right.
How is that fair on the parent or the child?
Sure.
But then you have parents that are like, yeah, but my gun, lads, like, fuck off.
Right.
Kids' rights.
Yeah.
Fucking kids' rights. I'm not saying take away all guns, right? My wife actually believes in owning guns. I not so much. I mean, I have. Hopefully, you can, if you need to, you can blank this out. I have these, right?
Yeah.
I like pointy things.
Sure.
Okay. I never use them, and I hope I never have to use them. They are display. They are fun for display. Admittedly, I've been trained for many years, and these are probably more dangerous than those.
Okay.
I'm not a massive fan of guns, mainly because to use this, I have to get close to you.
Yeah.
And if there's more than one of you, probably going to take 2, maybe 3. But if you bundle me, this is nothing anymore.
Yes.
I have that.
You can take out a whole crowd.
All the way back there.
Yep.
I've got a clip, a magazine, whatever you want to. 15 shots. Bang, 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 bang. If I hit 1 in every 2, that's 7 people injured or dead.
Right.
3 people, possibly.
Right.
7.
Yeah.
And yet, like, one of the arguments I'm hearing from people over that side of the pond is because I don't want to label all Americans, because it's not an all Americans issue. Like, I know that there are some people who are level-headed and think straight. But one of the arguments I hear from over the pond is, yeah, we have a gun problem, we're dealing with it. You have a knife problem. What are you doing to deal with that? You can't buy one of these if you're under 18. They're locked away. So you either have to take one off someone, be given it, or find it from home, like a kitchen knife or something like that. So there are restrictions on buying it. But a knife is a knife. It doesn't matter whether it comes out out of your utensil drawer or whether it's a custom-made piece like this.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's got a pointy end. Fucking hell, you could break a stick and make sure it has a point on it.
Right.
And still stabs.
You can make a shank out of a fucking toothbrush.
Exactly. We do have a knife problem, a stabbing problem. There was a weekend, last weekend or the weekend before, there were 5 people stabbed in one day.
Really?
Big news. Yeah, it was big news. And
you know, as morbid as this is gonna sound, I'd rather take that big news than the shit that we get over here, dude.
Exactly. And one of the things I've seen on TikTok is people going, yeah, you complain about our guns, look at this. 5 people were stabbed in one day. I think it was at one event, and not making light of the suffering to the people who got stabbed or their families at all. I feel sorry for them, and I hope, if
of course,
all well for them and their families.
Yeah.
But what was it? Last 22 people shot, dead, and a couple others injured at one of the school shootings, or it was 19 dead, 3 or 4 injured. It doesn't compare.
No,
I'm sorry. And then there, from the last one that you guys had, again, I'm trying to stick away from you guys, but from the last one that happened in Texas, Uvalde, was it?
Uvalde. Yep.
Uvalde. Up till 2 months later, there were up until now, there have been something like 200 more school shootings or mass shootings.
Yes.
200.
200. Yes. That's right.
And for it to class as a mass shooting, it needs to be 4 people or more.
Right.
So at a minimum, that is like 800 people shot, killed, maimed, injured.
Since then, 200. Like before that happened, I read that at the turn of the year when 2022 started, from that point until Uvalde, there was an astronomical amount, and then 200 since then. That just goes to show that we here have a big fucking problem, brother.
A huge problem.
I don't own a gun. I don't feel like I need to own a gun. I think
that's interesting. I've never actually spoken to an American that hasn't owned a gun?
No, I don't own a gun. I don't feel like I need to own a gun. I think, in my opinion, the only people who should own guns are law enforcement and military officials. I don't understand why the common man needs to have a fucking gun. I don't get that. To protect your home, I get the whole protect your home thing. I get that. But I can protect my home with this, or I can protect my home with a knife. And if the person, if the intruder who's coming in, if we're on the same playing field, because that person doesn't have access to guns either, right? Then I feel like I'm rambling. The point that I'm making is, as a common person, I should not have the right to just walk around with an item that I can just kill someone right then and there. That's just
from
me.
Afar.
I'm from afar. Yeah, from a distance I can do it. That's just me. I'm just like that. There are people who disagree with that. There are people who go hunting and in the South, and damn it, I gotta shoot me a deer at least once a week. And it's like, okay, like now what? You're fucking killing animals for sport. I'm a weird cat. I'm a weird American dude. Like I'm fucking. I go against a lot of the American what truly makes you American, and the right to bear, the right to do this. It's like, how about the right to be a good fucking person?
Yeah,
like that
exactly.
There's no reason why that kid should have had access to an AR-15 at his age. He was like, what, in his early 20s, or he was 19 or some shit like that?
19, I believe.
He was 19. How the fuck did he have access to that? How did he get it? What, did he walk into a Walmart and just buy it? Like, because he's over 18? I don't know, dude. There's a really big problem.
Even that dickhead who streamed his shooting to Twitch.
Yes,
he had 3 separate guns.
I remember. He
had a semi-automatic handgun. He had a, I believe it was a converted SMG, and then he had, if I'm remembering right, he had like a shotgun or something.
Yeah,
I was like, what? And then he had body armor, and like, what the fuck?
How do you get your hands on this shit?
Yeah, like, and again, he was young. Where do you buy that? I mean, I've heard stupid stories.
Black
I've heard
market.
stupid stories, but then again, I'm from over the pond, so I can't tell how true they are or not. But I've heard stupid stories about people going into banks and getting given a gun while opening an account, or walking into Walmart and being given a gun, but you have to turn up 48 hours for the ammunition. And like, if you've got ammo at home, it ain't stopping you going to pick up more ammo in 40 hours. I mean, I personally, I can kind of understand the want, need, or an argument for small arms like handguns, or maybe even a single shot rifle if you're like on if you're on a farm, or if you're a hunter or whatever. Yeah, but do you need anything more powerful than that?
No, you don't.
Do you need a 12 gauge fucking automatic, semi-automatic shotgun?
Yeah,
that you keep in, and you say it's for house defense? Who are you defending?
Yeah, right. Who, fucking goddamn Batman? Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. Oh no, I need an AR-15. I need some form of automatic rifle that shoots fucking 15 bullets a second, and a magazine of 36 is gone in 20 seconds, or whatever it is. Yeah. And people don't come at me with, actually it does this.
Yeah, the specifics don't matter. The point is,
no, you don't need that.
I guess I can agree with maybe just a handgun, but having access to a goddamn bazooka, like, you know what I'm saying? And you're 19 years old walking around with the shit. Obviously, he didn't have that, but the point that I'm making is, like, you can get your hands on it if you really want to, right? There's no need for it. There's just no need for it.
Even over here, where guns are completely illegal, I think there are very rare occasions where a commonplace person is allowed a firearm, and I think it's like farming and hunting, and then you have to go through strict protocols. It's got to be locked away properly. Basically, the people who have guns over here do what you guys are supposed to do and don't do.
Right.
But that's because it is illegal to have them. So it is a privilege to have one, not a commonplace law. So it is a privilege to have one. And then if you do have one, if you aren't looking after it properly, it will be removed from you. Plus your right to have one ever again.
Wow.
So
plain and simple.
Why you guys don't have something like that, I do not know. Like, even if it was everyone's allowed a handgun, but you have to have mental health testing every 2 to 5 years. You've got to have them put away in a thank you very much, baby, in a secure location. If we come and do a check, by the way, I hear there's an unemployment problem. How about getting people to check gun owners? Check where your gun is kept in a safe. We'll check that you've got all your paperwork up to date, and we'll do that randomly. Might not even be once a year, might be once every 3 years, but we're checking.
Right.
We check.
Right.
Why is that such a bad thing?
That's perfect. That's how it should be over here. It's just I love how you use the word privilege. It's a privilege over there to have to be armed. Over here, it's a right. There's a big difference between the two. And that's why over here, people, since it is a right, people don't feel like it's a privilege. We're like, well, I mean, I have the right to do it. I mean, the Constitution fucking says so. So now what? And
Constitution that was written nearly 300 years ago, when a gun had to be single loaded,
right, with a stick and all of that,
and you got one shot off, and it took you about 30 seconds if you were proficient to reload it. If you were proficient,
right.
Now you have guns that can dispatch 30 people in under 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It does not make sense. The Constitution needs to be updated to
I agree with that.
Times of today.
I think the time has come for us to update the Constitution. Yeah, because we're going off of 300-year-old policies here. And back then, when they made, the right to bear arms, they probably couldn't even fathom an automatic rifle or something like that. They made that decision based on what they had. Things have evolved and things have changed, which means that the laws should change.
They wouldn't have even fathomed a lever action rifle that could shoot 6 or 7 shots. They were still single shot stuff.
Right.
And that was as far as it got. And okay, there wasn't a huge time difference between those, but that's what they were thinking of, should we have arms? Yeah, we should. Should the people have arms? Yeah, in case the British come back over and then all the people are armed. Well, because it was to fight against a tyrannical government. They weren't thinking of themselves. The American forefathers, they weren't thinking of themselves as the tyrants. They weren't even thinking of their future generations as the tyrants. They were like, what if Britain comes back over and wants to make the empire again?
Right.
Well, shit. It took us, the French, the Spanish, and I think there was another group to beat them last time. So if we do it next time, how about we arm everyone?
Right.
And then as soon as the redcoats come over, oh chap, how you doing? Bang, dead.
Right. Yeah, it's a big issue, and I'm glad that I got your opinion on it because things are so different over there. Okay, to wrap up the streamer showcase, the very last question that I have for you, my good sir, is a very simple question.
Go for it.
Do you believe in God? Do you think he exists? What evidence have you experienced in your life that gives you either yes or no?
As I said, I don't believe in God. I don't believe he exists. I believe that it was a story made up by men at the beginning in order to make sense of things. And then after a time, it was grabbed by politics, dictators, and governments in order to be able to bring people into line, to give them hope, but ultimately to tell them, if you go against God, you are going to hell. And the idea of eternal damnation over life, especially because you can't really answer it, the idea of eternal damnation is one of fear. And if you keep people in fear, you keep them in control.
That's correct. Couldn't have said it any better. It's the same exact notion is like, it's like Christmas. If you're a good little boy, you get a gift on Christmas. If you're a good little human, you get to go to heaven and you get to see your dog Fido that died years ago, and your aunt and uncle that died and all of that shit. If you're a bad little kid on Christmas, you don't get any gifts. You get coal, right? Or you go to hell as a human. I feel like the Bible is 100% necessary. It's necessary because there are people who, if there weren't the 10 Commandments, if there weren't something to look forward to, then there would, some people, there'd be uproar. You know, like some people can't deal with the fact that deal with the fact that there's nothing after this.
I think that's more of a case now because of religion. I think before, when we didn't have organized religions that told us that there is this happy ever after, and I've also got another thought about the happy ever after.
Yeah.
But because we've been taught that now, it has scared people into thinking, okay, what if there isn't anything? And then this is why people really don't like atheists a lot, especially religious people, is because when we go, there is nothing, and they go, how can you think that? How can there just be nothing? We came from nothingness, we return to nothingness. All we do is deposit our minerals back to the earth. That's it.
Right.
And they're like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
But
people can't, what you just said, some people will look at you like, oh, how dare you?
I mean, in essence, that is a cycle. You are taking from the earth, you give back to the earth. We are but stardust going round in circles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the idea of a happy ever after as well, be a good person, you know, love your family, you know, love thy neighbor, do good at work hard and due to it. I'm not going to get that word right. But just work hard and be good at what you do, right? But your gift will be in the ever after. Your gift will be in the afterlife. What does that create? Servants. That creates people who believe that this life, for the most part, doesn't matter, because the eternal life after is what you're working towards.
Right.
So you're gonna do your duty as a Christian, as a person, as a person of a nation.
Yeah.
And you're gonna work for your boss. You're gonna earn money. You're gonna pay taxes. You're gonna be good, all the way up until you die, and then you're gonna panic and go, shit, what did I do with my life? But it's okay. It's okay. Happy ever after.
Right.
Because we need people to run countries. Not the people running the countries, the people at the bottom picking everything up, walking along with all the weight on their back.
Yes.
Easiest way to do that is to promise people a happy ever after and tell them that right now doesn't matter.
Right.
And do I personally believe that that's how we've gotten here to this state of Christianity or Catholicism, or what? I use Christianity because it is one of the largest religious organizations, sure. and also it is all around the world and in some of the biggest players of the world.
Yes.
And it is also the loudest at the moment. I also, don't believe in Allah. I don't believe in Buddha. I don't believe in Krishna. I don't believe in Vishnu. I don't believe in Odin. I actually lean more towards Norse paganism and paganism in general, like Celtic paganism.
Sure.
Because that's more about the earth and the sun, the sky, the water, and also going off on a tangent. I'll pull it back in, I promise. Greek and Nordic gods were acted like humans. They weren't above us in being morally better than us. They weren't perfect. So yeah, I use Christianity for that. But basically, yeah, if you tell all God-loving Christians that there is a happily ever after, and you get the majority of the world to believe in that, those are your working class servants. Those are the people that you just have to tell, keep struggling on, keep pushing on. God will reward you.
Right.
Doesn't matter whether it's true or not.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's one of my other thoughts on making people believe in a God, a sky daddy, and an afterlife. But I have nothing to say for whether he's real or not, because I have had no evidence to point out to me that he's real. My life doesn't count My life, me being born the way that I am, was just two people fucking, and then I
Yeah.
happened to come out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Simple as it. That's nature. That's fucking evolution.
Do
That's
you
not religion.
do you believe, how can I put this? Do you believe that you have some sort of an essence, some sort of a spirit? Maybe not that's going to float up into heaven or anything traditional way of thinking like that, but some kind of an aura about you that you will leave behind when you do die. Because there are people who say, "Oh, well," even people who aren't that religious. Okay, they're, "Oh, I felt their presence, whoever they may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt that they were there with me during that time." Do you believe in that, or do you think it's all just a bunch of rubbish?
So I'm more of an agnostic atheist. So I don't try to disbelieve or disprove God or religion.
Right.
I do kind of believe that there could be something there, but I am not going to put a name to it, and I don't try to pray to it.
Sure.
There are far too many things that we cannot explain that is above our comprehension, and I'm not going to put that down to any one deity.
Yeah.
Nor am I going to try to put it to a deity, because I'm sure at some point we'll find it out. Maybe millennia down the road,
Yeah.
maybe just before that asteroid hits us.
Right.
But I do believe that there is an energy or an aura. Yes. Do I feel that that gets left behind? I have no faith in ghosts. Do I believe in maybe that your energy is passed on into other things?
Maybe that's why you get bored of phasmophobia so quick, because you don't believe in the shit. It's like a
no.
Okay.
But is your energy passed on into other things? Yes, your life energy will be, like your what you're made of, your molecules, your building blocks. You know, if you're put in the ground, and a tree will grow. You know,
Right.
grass grows. You pass back on a little bit like almost like the Mako incident in Final Fantasy.
Yes.
You give back to the earth.
Right.
That constant cycle. So that's sort of it's sort of a nature spirituality more than a religion or philosophical spirituality.
I agree with you. I'm more toward that as well. I wouldn't say that I'm atheist by any means, but I would say I don't have a defining religion that I've tried. Believe me, I have. I've gone to different. I was born and raised Catholic. I have I was baptized, my confirmation, my everything, my communion, all super fucking Catholic growing up. And then as I grew up and I started to have my own thoughts on shit, that all completely changed. I'm way too much of a realist, and I just things have to scientifically make sense to me in order for me to believe it.
Plausibly makes sense, eh?
Right?
Like,
or
rather than just going, it's God. Like, okay, well, it's God's will. Okay, so it's God's will when something good happens, but when something bad happens, that's the devil.
Right.
It's God's will, but He works in mysterious ways. But I'm very much like you are. So I was brought up over here what we call Church of England, which is like a form of Protestant.
Okay.
So like when the Catholic Church broke,
yeah.
Over here it broke because of King Henry didn't wanted to behead one of his wives and have another side chick. So he made the Church of England. I was brought up Church of England, which is more like the stricter Protestant. And I was baptized. I had all that. I went to church when I was young, and then I just stopped. And I was like, and as you said, grew up, and very early on grew up in my head and was like, I don't think there is a God.
Yeah.
There's too much that goes wrong that we see around the world. And if there was an omnipotent being that controls everything, understands everything, and is all powerful, why would they allow this to continue?
I agree. Like for me, I think the moment for me hit. So you remember September 11th, 2001. Okay.
I do indeed.
Unfortunately, my dad worked at the Twin Towers, and my dad died in that event. Okay.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's one, and 9/11, we're approaching 21 years. Okay, it's always kind of been the background noise in my life. I've said this before. Like I go about my day to day, it's always kind of there. All right.
Yeah.
It was at that moment that I'm like, if there is a God, why would he allow this to happen? Oh, because humans have free will. Okay, but then what about these miracles that he's supposed to perform here and there? Like, you allow 3,000 plus almost 4,000 people to die, right? So where was God then? And I've had these arguments with like my mom. My mom, she hears me talk like this and she's like, I just can't believe that you would think that. And I'm like, I can't believe that you would think the other way. Like it doesn't make sense. Like we had the conversation about what if a 9-year-old girl walking home from school gets raped by a crackhead? Where was God there?
Yeah.
Right?
Because remember, he's everywhere. He's omnipotent, all-knowing, all-powerful.
Thank you.
But like, even if we still,
it's a good story. It's a good story.
Yeah. Even if we still followed the Old Testament, Leviticus, like really, the really hard stuff. Even if we still followed that, I would probably have more time. God, because God was wrathful. God was angry. God was kind. He was jealous. He was human. But they had to remove that. They had to remove that because he was too understanding, too understandable. So they had to make him this all-knowing, all-powerful being that had no control over everything. He didn't kill, all the planet except Noah and his sons.
Right.
And, like 2 of every animal because, abortion's so wrong, but killing an entire planet is fine with a flood. But yeah, so if we followed that, I could probably understand it a little bit. I wouldn't understand Christianity and I wouldn't be part of it, but I could understand maybe a little bit more for that wrathful God. But this new all-loving, all-powerful God it's bullshit. That's just
there's too much fucked up shit that happens in the world for me to wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just there to placate you. It's there to placate you and make you feel safe and warm, as I said, for that afterlife,
right?
So that this life doesn't matter.
Right. Listen, brother, we can go on forever with this. This has been an outstanding conversation, dude. I want to thank you.
Dude, I've had an awesome time.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. We definitely have to link up and play some games together. And now's the time where you advertise yourself. Are you on Twitch? Well, we know that obviously. Twitch, your TikTok, anything else? I'll put a graphic up under you with your schedule. So the floor is yours, brother.
Thank you very much. I'm everywhere. I am like a herpes rash. I am absolutely everywhere. I am on TikTok, Twitter, Hover, YouTube, Insta, Facebook. Did I say Twitch? No, I didn't say Twitch. I might even be having an OnlyFriends account starting because my chat basically challenged me and I said, okay, this amount of bits, and then they did it within an hour.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't a small amount of bits either. It was 15,000 bits for me to start
Holy shit, brother! To start your own OnlyFans.
And they beat it by nearly 5,000 bits.
Wow, that's hilarious.
That's happened. So I've started the Twitter for it, but I'm everywhere, and it's literally King's Court except the OnlyFriends stuff. Everything's King's Court. It's TikTok, King's Court, Insta, King's Court, YouTube.
I'm gonna put your socials in the description down below.
Thank you. Yeah, everything's King's Court. It's so easy to find me. Kings_CRT.
CRT, got you. Okay, and what's your schedule? Your Twitch schedule?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. At the moment, up until September, I'm on in the evenings UK time, so that's 8 p.m. Which will be BST.
Gotcha.
Or GMT +1, so that's British Summer Time or Greenwich Mean Time +1.
Got it.
And at the beginning of September, when the kids go back to school, I can start streaming during the daytime again. So that'll be 10:30 a.m. GMT +1 or GMT.
Beautiful. Any last words?
4 hours. Any last words? I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. It's been a great conversation. Definitely want to catch up more about like comics and games and stuff like that. So we'll catch up.
We'll do a part 2 of this, man. Trust me. Part 2 in the future, big time. I'm gonna be doing a so this is gonna come out this coming weekend, which will be the weekend. Let me just double check here. It's going to be on the 21st. Okay, the 21st of August, and then I'm gonna have a multiple one. So it's gonna be me, Baron, and a couple other people, and that's gonna be really, really crazy because I'm gonna be hitting them with some crazy fucking questions. But you and I are going to have a part 2 in the future, dude. This was outstanding.
Damn straight.
Bro. Thank you so much, man. All right,
not at all. Thank you.
I will see everyone in the next one with a new streamer. You guys have yourself a good one. Generico NJ signing out. We are out of here.
This is the love making.